Hi, so just introduce yourself.
Okay. So I'm Niveah Abraham, and I actually did my undergrad here at Purdue in computer engineering. And right now I'm a second semester master's student in CNIT, and I'm doing my master's in big data and data analytics.
So congratulations on winning the best solution at this year's Purdue IronHacks. And can you tell me about your journey through the app right from the beginning till the end in as much detail as you can?
Okay, so I remember Dr. Sabine and a couple of her students, Pooja, and a couple others that actually came to our data warehousing class, and they discussed about the details of the project, what was involved, and the training phase, and the other phases that involved submission till the very end. And I did remember them asking questions about if we all had experience in HTML, D3, and JavaScript. And all I could think was that I didn't like JavaScript really, and I actually did have experience with HTML and D3.
Okay.
And I think that might have been my advantage. And yeah, so the training phase was not as rigorous as it should have been for me, but I really wish it did.
Okay.
However, yeah, I was able to go through I think the JavaScript tutorials, which were very helpful in actually injecting the data, and especially the vegetable market data, that was very useful as part of that. And then yes, trying to commit all those phases just before the deadline with all the other classes and stuff. So yeah, I think that was the hurdle.
Okay. So during the training session, you were informed that you would be able to see how others would be performing, even their source code. Thinking about the time between the training session and the beginning of the first hack, tell me how you experienced this type of. Tell me about how you experienced this type of competition setup or hackathon.
So I've never been to a hackathon before,
Okay.
but I really did want to, but due to some circumstances, I always had an excuse not to go to one.
Okay.
But this was there, and I really wanted to do it. And I remember that all our source codes were supposed to be made public and people would see. Honestly, I know a lot of students didn't like the fact that our source codes could be seen, and or our projects could be seen by other people. So I felt like a lot of students didn't submit their real code during the deadline phases. But I know I did submit my real stuff, but I know a lot of them just didn't want to show I don't know, maybe it was just they didn't feel very comfortable submitting their source code or people seeing their source code.
So did you prepare for the hack based on the knowledge that people could see your code? Was it any different for you that way?
For me, it wasn't different. All I knew is that I wanted to get this done and right. But it also, because I was able to see other people's projects, I could see how far I was coming along and how behind I was. And also, it did keep the competition spirit up, because I was just like, oh, other people are doing way better than I am, or they have this feature on and I don't. And it was just, I thought the competition spirit for me was better because I could see what they were doing. But I never saw anybody's source code. I just physically just saw what they were doing because it didn't matter to me. All I knew is that I had to get that feature on if it wasn't there, so just like that.
So did you use other solutions at all? Did you look at the design? I mean, you just told me that, but can you think of a situation where you used either or both, like the design or the code?
Other people's code? I know I didn't, but there was one particular problem where my coworker, who's also in the same class and also one of my classmates for another class, we were all in the same class doing this data hackathon, and we were trying to figure out one particular problem, and I know that one girl figured it out and she told others just a little help, and so we were able to get that to work with just a small line of code, and I know that it was common among the three of us. That's all I know. That's the help that I got for one thing, and that's about, I think there was a collaboration there. I wouldn't say plagiarism or anything, but it was just collaboration, and it was much needed because that help was there when we needed it, and luckily we got it.
So what did you first click on and why in the other person's code? I mean, did you go through GitHub? You didn't?
No. But I did go through just the projects in itself, like all of it. So I would like click through all the links just to see how much they've progressed or how their project looks like. But I never saw their source code or anything.
Okay. So did you look at other people's performance scores before looking at the solution? I mean, I know you didn't look at much, but
I did know that the scores were up there just for the phase 1, and then there were no more scores. And what happened was, I felt like there was a lot of chaos on the website. Because we didn't know that the project number or the hacker numbers would be randomized. So yeah, there were scores, and then suddenly there were no scores, and then our projects are all randomized, so it was chaotic. I would say that it was really chaotic on the website. Maybe just the initial phase 1. Maybe because we didn't understand, or there was still development going on the website, so we were kind of lost initially.
Sorry about that, but
Oh no, that's okay. It takes a while.
What motivated you to participate?
I guess it was the data warehousing class, and yeah, we had 2 options if we wanted to build on the project that the professor already laid out to us, or if we wanted to take part in the hackathon. And I know I did want to take part in the hackathon because I wanted a change and wanted more experience with the project.
Tell me how you experienced and felt about being able to see all the participants' scores and solutions after phase 1.
I honestly couldn't tell which score belonged to whom. But also because I didn't understand what each criteria meant and what each score meant for each person based on their project. Mainly it was just my lack of ignorance, and but yeah, I did want my score to be a little higher than everyone else, which is why maybe I just tried to do better. But yeah, I couldn't really notice everyone else's score.
So did you compare your app to the others?
Oh yeah, always. Also because my brother was in the same class, so I would like ask him to see mine and tell me if he had feedback, or I would ask my other friend to see it. Also my coworker was there. I'll tell you what, so initially when I started, she saw my app and she said, "Niveah, that's terrible." So I was like, damn, it is really terrible. And so that motivated me to do better. So in a way, yeah, it wasn't criticism or anything. It was actually more like a boost for me. So yeah, thanks to her that she was like, yeah, it's terrible.
How did you feel about the fact that your solution performance would be visible to other people?
Honestly, I didn't know that our projects were going to be visible at all. So I thought it was a very internal thing. Like I submit mine, some of the judges would just see it. It wasn't like a comparative competition to me. I didn't know that, but yeah, very late on I realized that. And it was okay with me. Mainly also because I don't know why, but I felt like maybe the JavaScript aspect of the projects weren't there. So I didn't feel like when I was looking at other people's project, it was their real project. Because some of the JavaScript components to their project was missing. So it was just like, HTML face value project that I was seeing. So it wasn't the real project. That's what I thought.
So what do you think others would use your code for?
Maybe just getting an idea of what D3 is, because the thing is, I wouldn't have known what D3 is until I actually did a research project when I was an undergrad, which is why I knew D3, and it's not very difficult. But maybe people should have be more aware of what D3 was. Maybe people would have got a little more idea of what D3 is. That's what I felt.
So are you saying that in phase 2 you were not able to see participants' scores and solutions?
Yeah, no. Like I could see their solution. It was just that the JavaScript aspect of their project was not there.
Okay.
So if I clicked on a button, I don't know if like the participant actually made it like was working or not. So I don't know because I couldn't see their README file. I don't know what their agenda was.
Okay.
So it was very unclear what they were trying to do or if their JavaScript was working at all. So I didn't know. But all I knew is that if I clicked on my project and a couple of the functionalities weren't working, but in my real project it was working. So I could tell, maybe the JavaScript on all the projects weren't working.
Okay.
So I couldn't honestly tell what was going on.
Okay.
So I don't know if it was a glitch or it was purposely made to be that way. So
okay.
Yeah.
Thinking back on the time between the final phase and the announcement of winners, what do you think about your performance?
Can you repeat that again? Sorry, I just blacked out.
That's alright. Between the final phase and the announcement of the winners, what do you think? How do you think you did in the complete competition?
So I didn't really think I'd win at all.
Okay.
Mainly because I felt like I didn't put in much effort.
Mm-hmm.
I really thought I could have done way better if I had more time, and also I know that I had like a ton of projects going on at the same time, so I just thought I didn't really do enough. I could have done a lot better maybe.
Okay.
But at the same time, I know that there are a lot of very creative solutions out there, and there was this one girl's project that I thought was really amazing, but she didn't have her she told me her ideas and stuff. I don't know if she implemented it, but I saw what she had done and I thought it was pretty cool. Okay. So I didn't think I'd really, win against her, but I don't know, I was very surprised.
So can you tell me the difference between the three phases? I mean, did you feel any better, more confident in second phase, third phase compared to the first?
For me, I know that at some phase I had to do the D3.
Okay.
So I would try to make an agenda of what I wanted on all those phases. So the first phase was just have a bootstrap template and have something populated just so that I'm familiarized with the layout. Okay. And then phase 2 was basically trying to get the farmers market visually on the Google Maps. Okay. And then phase 3 was trying to get the climate of the seasons and trying to get more data sets. Okay. And I thought finding the data sets was the most challenging part of the whole project. And then the last one was trying to get the D3 and then try to stitch all those parts together.
Right. So, second last question. Is there anything you feel you could have done better?
A lot. I feel I just wish there was more data sets to use. Okay. And the creativity kind of comes as you have data sets. But the problem was there weren't many data sets. Okay. And the thing was, this challenge was just restricted to the greater Lafayette region. So there weren't many markets as such, or maybe there should have been like a clear guidelines on how to find the data sets. Okay. Yeah, sure, there's stuff on the government, the Indiana government. There's a lot of data on the Indiana government, which is awesome. But at the same time, we weren't sure like what data to get or where to get the data from. But with their website, the climate, there was a lot of factors involved in it. Okay. Yeah, so I don't know if that could be made better.
Do you have any suggestions for future hacks?
Maybe like have everyone's scores like visible next time, and maybe have a set IronHack number for each person. For each for each person rather than randomizing it, and maybe not have everyone's code public. Okay. Just have the projects up there, but not the code. Because I don't know, I'm very paranoid about having my own code up there. Okay. And I guess on the tutorials, this bothered me a lot. This is very tiny. Go ahead. But like, so you have all these, when the deadline is and what you're supposed to have done by that deadline. But when you click on those tutorial links, they would open up on the same page as the, the GitHub page.
Okay.
I just wish they all opened up on new tabs.
Okay.
Because then I could keep track of what I finished.
Okay.
Because it's like a recursive thing, so you're like, you don't know where you've finished in that.
Okay.
And it's the perfectionist in me. I'm sorry, but it
That's
really
alright.
bothered me so much. So yeah, just that.
Glad to have suggestions. It's okay.
Yeah, so that, I think apart from that, I thought it was great, and a lot of incentives, a lot of motives to actually do well. And
Okay.
yeah, I think because I had a background in D3, maybe it was not fair for other students.
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah.
But congratulations once again.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
taking your time.